So I want to talk about Impact Wrestling, TNA, and their November 7th, 2024 edition. And I really like this episode, so let's get right into it. First, we started with Slamovich and Grace versus Steels and Edwards. Now, this match was fine. It did what it had to do. I was kind of surprised, though, because the person who was down for most of this match was Jordan Grace, which isn't normal because, she's such a powerhouse. But the bad guys, the heel group, they did a good job. They did a good job, and they kept her down. And she got she gave the hog tag to Masha, and then Masha came in there and destroyed everybody. And at the end of the day, they got the win. Masha and Grace both got the win. Now I like this match, and I like this match because even though it was short and even though it was a fun little match, I feel like these are the contenders that are going to be for the TNA Knockouts title. You have Alicia Edwards, who can't stand Masha because she blames her for losing the tag titles. You have Steels, who is a formal TNA champion, TNA Women's Champion. And then you have Grace, who's going to want her rematch eventually. Right now, yes, you were friends. Yay, Masha. But at the end of the day, Grace is going to want to go back to that title. And so I felt like even though this match was, it was a nice little tag and, the baby faces won, there's more to it than that. The story is going and it's going to keep going. And I enjoy where we're headed. I really do. Masha's going to be destroying a lot of wrestlers. And then we had a Savannah Evans interview. She was just explaining her actions, why she attacked Lee last week. Basically saying that you should want to talk about her coming back than new arrivals to TNA. We'll see what happens there. Then we had Wendy Chu versus Rosemary in a no DQ match. Now, all I have to say about this match is there was a lot of pillow action. Like, that pillow was everywhere. Let me tell you, Rosemary tried to use it to block one of Wendy Chu's moves, and then Wendy Chu was trying to use it to hit Rosemary, and then Rosemary actually ended up winning this match. And after she won the match, she laid Wendy Chu to sleep on top of her pillow and gave her a kiss like goodnight, on her forehead. And so I'm telling you, this pillow was everywhere. Now, this match was nice, and I don't know if this is the match that's gonna end this feud. If it is, then I'm fine with it. Like I said, I like this little matchup. Wendy Chu probably learned a lot under Rosemary. She probably learned a lot under Rosemary, and it was a good experience. So I have no problem with this. I thought that they worked really well together, and I enjoyed the storyline from beginning, middle, and end. Not a problem with this at all. Have no issue with Rosemary winning. And then we have Steve Macklin promo, right? He was just talking about Josh Alexander and how Josh was always a coward and he always knew Josh was trash, that he has always been a piece of crap, and that he can't wait to beat him. That was literally what Steve said. Steve said, I never liked you and I will never like you. And then we had the Rascals, and you know what? They were kind of depressed. They were kind of depressed because they were like, we keep losing matches. We lost our friend Wesley. And then they climbed up, and they were where? At the treehouse. We have officially gone back to the treehouse. And they did, they did mention Wesley, but they said, doesn't matter. We're back here and we're going to have fun. And it was like a little sitcom, we had like the laughter and stuff coming in when they said something funny. So I don't mind the Rascals. I'm glad they're back. I feel like this officially means they're back. And then we had the best little golden nugget in this whole show. Now, y'all know how I feel about the Hendry storyline. I feel a little off. It hasn't been connecting with me so far. And I think the reason that it hasn't been connecting is that we did it in NXT. In NXT, the babyface had to help Hendry to become the number one contender for the title, right? And then when we got back to TNA, we did the same thing. Nick Nemeth helped Joe Hendry again. And you know what? Because he believes in him. And that's great and all. We all believe in Joe Hendry, but we all believe that Joe Hendry can win a match on his own, right? And we all believe that he can figure it out on his own. And so I love that we're giving this storyline a wrinkle. Because I haven't been the best fan of it, but now I'm getting into it. I'm getting into it. Because first of all, the old Joe Hendry came back, right? And we're giving it this wrinkle because we're kind of trying to tease, like, is Nick Nemeth a heel or is he not a heel? Because Joe got screwed over for the title. And he already said that he believes that it was Nick that orchestrated the whole thing to screw him over, right? And so then we have, that's what he said last week. And so then last week they were teaming up together, and Hendry ended up hitting Nick by accident, and that led to Edwards and JDC getting the win, and Edwards specifically getting the pin on Nick Nemeth, and he was angry. And so today on this TNA, we got to see the aftermath. We got to see the footage of what happened after that. And guess who enters the story? Ryan Nemeth. Don't know nothing about Ryan Nemeth either than he is who? Nick Nemeth's brother, right? And Ryan is pissed. Ryan is pissed, right? Ryan is pissed because he believes that Joe hit Nick on purpose. That was an on purpose hit, right? And the whole time he's arguing with his brother, and it's very interesting because Nick is telling Ryan, you know, and what happened? What about what happened at Bound for Glory? What about what happened there? I'm sure he thought he got screwed over by me, and he was like, so it was an accident. If that could happen at Bound for Glory, then this can be an accident. But Ryan's not having none of it, and you know who else is having none of it? Joe. Joe is not having none of it. And so Santino has to get in between Joe and Ryan because Joe is like, what are you talking about? It was an accident and all this stuff, right? And so eventually the Nemeth brothers, they leave, and this is the greatest part. Santino tells Joe Hendry, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to work your way from the bottom. You're going to have to go all the way to the back of the line. And Hendry's looking at him and he's like, are you serious? After what happened? And he's like, I believe in you. And I was just like, ooh, Hendry, I know that hurt. I know that hurt deep in your soul, right? But anyway, cut to today's segment. And Joe Hendry comes out. And this is the Hendry that I've been waiting for because Hendry is spicy. Hendry got organically over because he has a very charismatic personality. And he came out here and he showed us why we believe in him. Because he was starting to talk and he was like, you know what? Ryan wants to get into my business. And so he made a video. I told you, I've been missing his videos. And so he made a video. And the video was of Ryan Nemeth's career. And all it said was, and I kid you not, he's Dolph Ziggler's brother. That was the video. And it said, the end. And everybody in the crowd was loving it. Everybody in the crowd was laughing. Everybody was like, do it again, do it again, do it again. And then he was like, and now, Ryan, you're going to actually have history because we're going to, you know, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you because you don't know how to mind your business. But regardless, I loved it. It was a short segment, straight to the point, but I felt like we did so much in so little time. We gave this storyline the boost that it needed because it's been feeling a little off, y'all. It's been feeling a little off. And then after all of this, we had Santana in First Class, right? This was funny because Santana is like the kind of person who's like a no jokester, like what do you want kind of person. And so First Class came over and they're like, oh, join our team. And Santana's like, I don't need you for nothing. And then AJ Francis told his partner, you gotta take care of that. You gotta take care of that. He was like, wait, what? What? Me? Nah, bro. But he's gonna have a match with Santana, I'm guessing. And then Heather by Elegance versus Jody Threat. Again, Heather by Elegance won, and it's because, you know, Ash by Elegance and her concierge keep getting involved. And it's just building for them to have a match against the tag team titles, Spitfire, the champions. And I don't mind it. It's funny. And we're giving the tag titles an opponent. Fresh matchup, not a problem. And then we had Moose versus Bayley. I only have a minute left. We had Moose versus Bayley, my favorite match of the week. When I tell you that this match was amazing from beginning to end. First of all, they hurt each other in the beginning. Moose hurt his arm, his hand, and then Bayley hurt his leg. And so Moose went after that leg the whole match, and Bayley was coming back always from the bottom. And then eventually Bayley got there, and he kept beating up Moose, and he kept, you know, it was back and forth. I feel like there weren't too many false pinfalls, but there didn't need to be. This was a big guy versus little guy match, and it was perfect. Moose kept beating Bayley down because he was the smaller opponent, but Bayley kept coming back, and he kept giving him offense, and he kept giving him that smoke. Why is Bayley the champion? Because of this. But you know what happened? Moose won. Yo, Moose gave that man 4 spears. 4 spears, okay? 4. And 1 out of midair. to win. And the best part is that Seven came out and then he betrayed